Hello everyone, my name is Arindam and in this video I'll be showing you how to get the artifact of the hunter from the lower south cave on the island map in November 2024 in the most easiest and simplest possible way. I will also be showing you all of the explorer node locations and what will be the best taming mount and the best strategy to go about this cave in the most reliable way possible. So first of all, let me show you the location of the cave. So I think you guys already know about it. The location of the cave is somewhere over here, as you can see from my map marker called the lower south cave. To give you a better visual representation, I'm currently sitting atop my Rhinognatha, and as you can see that is the ocean. From the ocean we have this river coming here, and just at this mouth there is this small path going up with two rocky cliffs on two sides. So we are going to follow up this river from the ocean, take this passageway over here, go through this, and as you can see I have already created my shack, which I can use as my respawning point as it has a bed and all of the necessary ingredients I require. In general, if you have been following my guides through ARK Survival Evolved, you will know that in every single artifact cave I always try to create one of these different types of huts, and I always make these huts look different and unique. It's just my way of showing a bit of creativity. Now, regarding this cave, let me show you the GPS coordinate of this. So this is the cave mouth. The coordinates are 85.3 by 54.2. The best taming mount for this cave remains the Baryonyx. You can also do this cave with a saber tooth or a Gigantopithecus, and the Gigantopithecus can also use those really nice ascended flak helmets, but for all intent and purposes the Baryonyx is by and large the best caving mount for this particular cave. And also the Baryonyx is also the best caving mount overall in ARK. So what I have done is, instead of relying on different caving mounts, I always try to use a Baryonyx, and since we have Bob's tails and their trait system, I have taken some time to add a whole bunch of traits. They are not very strong, but of all the traits currently there in my Baryonyx, my raised Baryonyx, the one that is most important will be the vampiric trait. So let me show you what the traits I have. So I have vampiric, which is going to allow me to capture health from my enemies when I attack them. The others are not very important, but if you can have at least one level of vampiric on your caving mount, especially the Baryonyx, it's going to be very helpful. Why? Because the Baryonyx is going to take a lot of damage, especially if you are going to get attacked by high level Arthroplurus, and Arthroplurus also do damage by deflection. So ideally we would try not to attack the Arthroplurus with the Baryonyx. Instead I'm going to be relying on my crossbow, and I have 150 crossbow bolts for that. Now since we're talking about Arthroplurus, for any cave that has Arthroplurus, I would always advise to use armor that can be quickly repaired with materials that can be found native to the cave itself. So our choices are cloth, hide, as well as chitin. Chitin is slightly more complex, so I prefer using hide armor, and also as you can see hide armor looks really cool. So I am using a set of hide armor, and hide armor requires only fiber and hide. Both of them can be easily obtainable inside a cave and also outside. So that's what I have taken. Now even though on November 11th cryopods will be allowable on for PvE as well as single player inside a cave, so but I would still not be using any kind of cryopod, because it is our objective is to make sure that the guides stay consistent across different platforms and different play zones, and for PvP we still do not have cryopods enabled without a cryo fridge as well as a generator, so I will not be using any kind of cryopods. So just a Baryonyx is all I'm going to have. For the Baryonyx I have loaded it up with a lot of raw fish meat. This one is an imprinted one with a lot of health, and I have leveled it up quite a bit, as you can see, 243 to 302. The reason why I'm taking a slightly strong Baryonyx is just to ensure that we don't spend a lot of time killing and waste our precious time inside the cave. So I'll try to make this thing very quick. One additional thing I'll try to do is, the Baryonyx heals only via fish meat, so I don't need to do any kind of resource harvesting. I don't need to encumber my Baryonyx with chitin as well as raw meat from there. So with that being said, let me park my 2 dinos here, set them on passive, and oh, one more thing. Always carry an otter with you, because an otter leveled in melee provides you a lot of hypothermic and hyperthermic insulation, and also the otter allows you to carry multiple artifacts at the same time. Let me try to have at least one more of these, just to ensure I do not get hot all the time. Okay, so now let's start. I will also be showing you the locations of the 3 explorer nodes that are found in this cave, but first let's go to the artifact. So the 3 explorer nodes will be the dossiers for the Leech and the Caprosuchus and Helena node number 12. But we are going to get to the explorer nodes later on. So let's just show you the cave run and get the artifact quickly. So Thylacoleo actually cannot fit through some of these narrow passageways, and hence if you think about taking a Thylacoleo, you will have to use some kind of cryopods, which is not allowed in PvP. So we are going to come here, see all these mushrooms. There are 2 sides, the left side where you can get the artifact closely, and the right side, which is will be if you want to get some of the loot drops as well as the explorer nodes. We are going to get the artifact first, so let's take the left. Generally a lot of cave creatures spawn in this area. Unfortunately I am not being able to show you, but Arthroplurals, Titanoboas, Araneos can be found here. You can take a shortcut and try this route and jump through this cliff over here, and you are going to get a straight path to the artifact. I'll be showing that in a different video where I'll try to do it in a slightly modified way, but let's use the long process. As you can see, now we get the cave creatures. One of the things I would always tell you, that since you will be doing a lot of cave runs and there are a lot of maps in ARK, I would always recommend that you take a Baryonyx and make sure that the Baryonyx has at least the imprint bonus. If we were to go down there, we will see a pool of water, and generally Sarcosuchus and Megapiranha spawn over there. As you can see, that is one of the loot crates, and that is actually the location of one of the explorer nodes. We are going to go to that later on. Our objective is to not bother the Arthroplurus at first, to take out all of the other dinos. In fact, let me do this. We don't need this right now. In fact, I think there is something that I do need. I would need these though. As you can see, there are 3 titanoboas, 3 snakes, and there is also an arthropleuda. So we would like to take out the arthropleuda from range. And arthropleudas have a headshot bonus. You can see it's pretty strong. Now I am using an ascendant crossbow for this, but if you don't have a high level crossbow like the one that you can see here, the other option is you can always use a primitive pump action shotgun. That will be really fine. So now let's head this route. Alright, so you can actually fit the Baryonyx through this route and directly enter the artifact chamber. Now unlike ARK Survival Evolved, in Ascended the artifact chamber actually has enemies inside it. So it is very important that you actually take your tank mount inside the artifact chamber to the very end. I just try to do a little circle just to see whether coast is clear, and then we get our artifact. Here is our artifact. We take a screenshot, and here is our artifact of the hunter. Let me also show you the current map coordinates I am at. The map coordinates of the artifact is 89 by 57.1. And as usual, I'm going to put one into melee and give it to our trusty Otter. Now we have gotten the artifact. So if you try to use this route, the Baryonyx won't be able to fit, but you can fit a saber tooth. Obviously a Baryonyx is way superior than a saber tooth, so I generally never take saber tooths for any caves. It's always the Baryonyx for me. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go into the intersection. We could have easily gone in that route, but some of you would just want to do this cave to gather the artifact, and some of you else would also want to do and get the explorer nodes. So you can go to that route and get a few more enemies, but there is nothing else to cover in that area. Note that since all of these caves always have these different obsidian and metal rocks, if you have a cave mount with the mineral bearing trait, especially of higher levels, you could actually get a lot of metal and obsidian and use your cave mount to actually gather stuff. So now we are at the junction, and we are going to take the other route, the route that will allow us to get the 3 explorer nodes and also get some of the loot crates if it's possible. So a lot of enemies actually spawn in this opening area, and we get the first of the explorer nodes, which is the dossier basically for the Caprosuchus. Yes, I have already taken it, but I think it's a bug because it is still giving me the XP bonus. Very weird. So this is the first explorer node location. Again, let me show you the coordinates. It's at 88.4 by 52.2. Now this is actually the easiest cave in ARK, so you may not require an imprinted one, but still, ARK being ARK, you don't know whether some misfortune is going to happen to you. So I always prefer to take the route that gives me the least risk. Now we are going to enter this large hall, but let me see if there are any Arthropodas nearby. Nothing there. So let me skip this part first and let us go into the place which we saw earlier. So we were there on that cliff when we actually saw this particular thing. So this is one of the locations of the loot drops, and on the other side you can see is the other location, the location for the leech, and the coordinates are 91.2 by 54. If you have taken a Baryonyx and you are short on fish meat, so what you can do is this particular pool of water, which also by the way spawns one of those cave loot drops. This pool of water contains lot of mega piranhas and these sarcosuchuses. So you can use this pool of water kind of like a repository for fish meat, which you can use to heal up your Baryonyx. The good thing about disabling resource harvesting is you have very less chance of getting encumbered, and it's much easier to also collect all of these different tribute items. Okay, so that was our second explorer node. Now let's go into the final one. So this is going to be a bit tricky because I think there would be, yes, there are Arthropodas. So let's see if we can get this guy from here. One down. Now, dung beetles in the island map do not spawn outside, so you are going to have to use the lower south cave or other caves to actually passive tame one of these critters. Alright, so alright, now the third explorer node is actually found inside this bamboo bush. It's very well hidden, by the way, and I just found it out of searching for it. You can see this is the location of the third one. I'll also show you what it is. It is
So in addition to all of the oddities I found with wild megalodons, here's the real cherry on top. Taming them is a piece of piss, a bit of training, and they're more obedient than the family dog. Now, I've heard of sharks getting very rudimentary training over a year or so, but not to this extent. Certainly not so easily. Sharks aren't mammals or even avians. They're fish. They rely more on instinct, or to put it simply, they're not very smart. You shouldn't be able to ride one like a jet. So in addition to all of the oddities I've found with wild megalodons, here's the real cherry on top. Taming them is a piece of piss, a bit of training, and they're more obedient than the family dog.
I
Now,
don't
I've
need
heard
to
of
attack
sharks
that
getting
thing
very
anymore.
rudimentary training
So
over
I've
the
gotten my
year or
3
so.
explorer nodes, I've
But
gotten my
not to this
artifact, and
extent.
now with the
Certainly not so
Baryonyx is
easily. Sharks
superior
aren't
speed,
mammals or even
I
avians.
can go into the
They're
T junction
fish.
and then head out.
They rely more on instinct. Or to
If
put
you
it
were
simply,
to
they're
be
not very
very
smart.
fast,
You
you can
shouldn't be able to
actually
ride one like a jet ski.
go again
I'm
back
trying
into
to
the
keep an
cave
open
and
mind
see
when
if
it
the
feels
artifact has
suggestive.
respawned and again take
This just
another
feels wrong.
instance of the artifact. So you would require just 3 instances of the artifact to do the gamma, beta and alpha of the broodmother, and after that it's okay, we don't need it anymore. And hey, we're outside. Look at our lovely Argentavis and Rhiniumnatha. So, we have gotten the artifact and that kind of concludes the video. And we also did not, yeah, I think we got hit once. But anyway, as you can see, these things only require fiber and hide. So all in all, very easy for me to repair. So yeah, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe and share around, and I will see you in the next video. So stay tuned and thank you for watching.